What is the first thing you think of when I ask you this question? What is the first ever main battle tank? You probably might think the T-54 or the M46 Patton. If you think the M46 Patton, you're kind of weird. But anyway, if you thought of the T-54, congrats. You get a cookie. Eat it. Come on. Eat it. There's no poison or anything. Who said anything about poison? In this video, I'll go over the T-54 and its brother, the T-55. So, you might want to grab popcorn. It might be a long video. Before we talk about the T-54 and T-55, we need to talk about their father and grandfathers, or mothers, I don't know. Anyway, we need to talk about their fathers and grandfathers, the T-34 and the T-44. So let's get that over with so you can enjoy a little video. The T-34 is a Soviet medium tank primarily used in World War II. When introduced, its 3-inch gun, 76.2 millimeters if you're not American, rifled cannon was more powerful than most of its contemporaries. Its armor was revolutionary, with a 45mm thick upper front plate angled at 60 degrees. This was one of the first genuine uses of sloped armor, and it helped greatly with protection against early tank cannons. The T-34 had a profound effect on the Eastern Front and had a heavy impact on future tank designs. In the late stages of the war, its armor and armament were certainly outclassed. However, it still remained the backbone of the Soviet tank force in World War II. But a problem with the T-34 was that Soviet designers at the time couldn't really give it newer technology, mostly because vital tank development of the T-34 could not be interrupted during wartime. After World War II, the T-34 tank continued to see widespread use in post-war conflict around the world, including the Korean War, the Arab-Israeli Wars, the Angolan Civil War, and conflicts in Yugoslavia and the Middle East, while also being used by numerous countries in Africa, Asia, and Eastern Europe. In 1943, the Morozov Design Bureau created the T-44 tank. The T-44 was a successor to the T-34. Both tanks offered similar performance, so the T-44 wasn't considered to be as important to the Soviets to produce. Thanks to its torsion bar suspension, a transverse engine mount, and the removal of the whole machine gunner, the T-44 was great at performing in cross-country terrain, as was the T-34, but now you also have superior armor and a powerful 85mm ZIS S-53 rifle tank gun. That's 3.35 inches for Americans. By the time the T-44 was ready for production, the T-34 had the same 85mm gun. Even though the T-44 was better in many ways, T-34 production was in 5th gear, and such focus and dedication to making T-34 tanks somewhat made it irrelevant to the Soviets. The T-54 and T-55 tanks are a series of Soviet medium tanks introduced shortly after World War II. The first T-54 prototype was completed at the end of 1945. From the late 50s, it had become the main tank for armored units of the Soviet Army and others. T-54 and T-55 series tanks have been involved in many different conflicts all over the world since its creation. The T-54 and T-55 series tanks is the most produced tank in history. The estimated amount of produced units are somewhere between 95,000 and 100,000. Obviously, they were replaced by other tanks like the T-62, T-64, T-72, T-80, and T-90 tanks. However, up to 50 other countries still use these beautiful rust buckets. Production of the T-54 began slowly. The Red Army received a tank that was better than World War II designs and theoretically better than the newest tank of potential opponents. The 100mm D-10T rifled cannon it was armed with fired BR-412 series APHE rounds, which had much more armor penetration than the T-34 and T-44. The serial production version, designated T-54-1, was different than the second T-54 prototype. It had thicker hull armor, which consisted of 80mm on the side, 30mm on the roof, and 20mm on the bottom of the hull. As production rates increased, problems emerged. Production was stopped, and an improved version was designed, designated the T-54-2. A few changes were made, and a new turret was fitted. The new dome-shaped turret with flat sides was inspired by the turret from the IS-3 heavy tank. It is similar to the later T-54 turret, but with a distinct overhang at the rear. It also had a shorter muzzle. This is probably the tank you've been watching this entire video for, isn't it? Don't worry, I'm getting to it. But I have to beg for subscribers first. It's what every small YouTuber does. Or rather, every YouTuber, but whatever. Hey guys, please subscribe. It'd really make my day, week, month, year, whatever if I can reach 10 subscribers by the end of this month. I'm so close, got 6 subs. Anyway, onto the actual T-55 part of this video, since you guys are probably dying to get this video over with. Ready? Here we go. The T-55 is a Soviet MET designed as a replacement of the T-54. Okay, that's it. Video over.
Oh, you stink!
Just kidding. It was powered by the V-55 12-cylinder, 4-stroke, 1-chamber, 38.88-liter water-cooled diesel engine outputting 581 horsepower. To increase the operational range, 300-liter or 79 US gallon fuel tanks were added to the front of the hull, increasing the overall fuel capacity to 680 liters or 180 US gallons. The ammunition load for the main gun was increased from 34 to 45, with 18 shells stored in wet containers located in hull fuel tanks. A wet ammo rack is a safety system in tanks, a notable usage being the M4A3E8 or the Easy 8 Sherman, where ammunition is stored in containers filled with water or a glycol mixture. The T-55 also featured a 2-axis stabilizer for the main cannon, which was the D-10-2S. It was capable of firing armor-piercing capped ballistic capped or APCBC, high explosive anti-tank or HEAT, and high explosive or HE. I will make a video on round types soon, so don't worry, you won't stay in the dark forever about tank rounds. Variants like the T-55A had access to armor-piercing discarding sabot or APDS and armor-piercing fin-stabilized discarding sabot or APFSDS. All of this makes it miles better than the prior IS-2, IS-3, and T-10. Despite thinner front turret armor, it compared favorably with the IS-3 due to its mobility and anti-tank capabilities. Heavy tanks soon fell from favor. Fun fact, did you know that the original T-55 did not have a turret-mounted anti-aircraft gun? Interesting, yeah? Anyway, that's mostly all I have for this video. I hope you guys have a good day, and also, if you can, please let me know in the comments if there are any other tanks you guys want to see. Please also clarify if you want it to be a short or a long-form video. If it is an obscure tank, I don't recommend it. Don't give me something like that one tank that has an M48 chassis and a Leopard 2A4 turret. Yes, that exists. Maybe something like the M47. That's something I can do. Anyway, I'm out. See you guys in the next video.